History of the World Series, 1905. The New York Giants, having scuttled the 1904 World Series with an unmistakable air of disdain, were willing participants in the 1905 Fall Classic. And with right-handed sensation Christy Mathewson in tow, why not? The 25-year-old Mathewson had just reached the 30-victory plateau for the third consecutive season. It's not that the 1904 Giants, National League champions by 13 games, had quaked in their cleats over thoughts of a series date with the Boston Red Sox, repeat titleists in the American League. Instead, Giants owner John T. Brush and manager John McGraw had pent-up feelings against the American League. Brush being irate over the entry of an AL team, the Highlanders, in New York, and McGraw still fuming over what he perceived as injustices meted out by AL President Ban Johnson when McGraw was plying his trade for the AL's Baltimore Orioles. Why should we play this upstart club, Boston, or any other American League team for any postseason championship? McGraw had asked during the 1904 season. When we clinch the National League pennant, we'll be champions of the only real major league. So the Giants turned down Boston's challenge for a World Series meeting in 1904, forcing the lone interruption in the history of the Fall Classic. But 1905 was a different story. With the public expressing its indignation over the Giants' thanks but no thanks series attitude of the previous season, Brush, McGraw, and company were ready to take on the American League champion Philadelphia Athletics after an NL race in which the Giants won 105 games. The series would be contested under guidelines drawn up by the Giants owner, seeking to stabilize an event he earlier had torpedoed. Besides outlining a revenue formula, the John T. Brush rules called for, among other things, a best-of-7 format. The Athletics, reeling from the late-season loss of standout left-hander Rube Waddell, sidelined because of an injury, were faced with the prospect of going up against a Giants pitching rotation that featured Mathewson, 31 victories, Joe McGinnity, 21, and Red Ames, 22, and also included Dummy Taylor, 15, and Hooks Wiltz, 14. New York wound up using only 2 of its Big Five as starters in the series, but that twosome proved more than enough. Left-hander Eddie Plank, a 25-game winner for the Athletics, was matched against Mathewson in the opening game. The contest was scoreless until the 5th inning when the Giants broke through for 2 runs, an outburst ignited by a Mathewson single. And with Mathewson contributing a key sacrifice in the 9th, New York added another run. Mathewson pitched masterfully throughout, finishing with a 4-hit, 3-0 triumph. He did not walk a batter. Athletics manager Connie Mack called on Chief Bender in Game 2, and the right-hander responded beautifully. Bender, supported by Briss Lord's run-scoring singles in the 3rd and 8th innings, outdueled McGinnity 3-0. Not only was the series tied, but a trend had developed. 2 games, 2 shutouts. Working with 2 days of rest, Mathewson trudged back to the mound for Game 3, and again befuddled Philadelphia on 4 hits. This time, he issued only 1 walk. First baseman Dan McGann was the Giants' big gun in a 9-0 romp, collecting 2 singles and a double, and driving in 4 runs. As good as the pitching had been through the first 3 games of the 1905 series, it reached an even higher level in Game 4, when McGinnity and Plank hooked up in a contest that produced only 1 run and 9 hits. The Giants notched the run, thanks to 4th-inning errors by Monty and Lave Cross, who manned the left side of the Athletics infield. The 1-0 triumph increased New York series lead to 3-1. Bender, only 21 but a 3-season veteran of the major leagues, was Mack's choice to halt the Giants in Game 5. McGraw countered with the redoubtable Mathewson, who would be pitching with just 1 day of rest. Mathewson again was up to the challenge, allowing only 6 hits and walking no one. Bender was nearly as good, yielding just 5 hits, but he went down to a 2-0 defeat that made McGraw and company World Series champions. Mathewson, the fabled Big Six, was merely phenomenal in his 3 outings against the Athletics. In the space of 6 days, he pitched 3 shutouts and permitted only 14 hits.
The Giants' wheelhorse struck out 18 and walked 1 in 27 innings. Besides Matty and McGinnity, the only other Giants pitcher to see action was Ames, who worked all of 1 inning as a reliever in Game 2. The 1905 Fall Classic proved memorable not just because of Mathewson's heroics or the 5 shutouts in 5 games. The series also was noteworthy because the Giants concentrated on scuttling the opposition instead of the event itself.